In the middle of tremendous darkness and personal tragedy, false lights are trying to guide us, and they can bring shipwreck. We must be focused on God's pathways and His light in the storms of life. Christ is the light of navigation. Hello, and welcome to the Light of Navigation and this Reflections podcast. My name is Marguerite Lever-Woodall, and I'm an author, speaker, and your host. In these podcasts, I love to explore and contemplate different life issues, to find their solutions through the lens of God's wisdom and His words. In this episode titled, Do You Live Well? I'm looking at what it means to live in a life-giving and powerful way. Join me in giving thought on the tough issues of life, and let's discover God's pathways through them. Years ago, as I watched the film Braveheart with Mel Gibson about William Wallace, a particular scene at the end deeply impacted me. It was a savage film at times and difficult to watch, and I typically won't view this kind of thing. William Wallace, a Scottish patriot, was brutally executed for leading a revolt against the King of England, Edward I, in 1297. King Edward was also known as Longshanks, or Hammer of the Scots. Wallace's execution was horrific, vicious, and ruthless. He was flayed alive during his torture and execution, then hung, drawn, and quartered. Afterward, his body was dismembered and sent to various parts of Scotland as a warning regarding any future rebellion against King Edward. It was in one of the movie's final scenes, in a dungeon as Wallace awaited execution, that a fictional woman named Isabel approached Wallace. She carried a concealed vial of a potent painkiller. Knowing what was coming with his imminent execution, she offered it to him. It was meant to buffer the horrifying pain of the torture he would shortly endure. At first, Wallace refuses the painkiller, saying, "It will numb my wits, and I must have all of them, for if I'm senseless or if I wail, then Longshanks will have broken me." She continued to offer it, and he eventually feigned taking it to calm her fears. But he quickly spit it out when she briefly turned away and wasn't looking. As she faced him again, Wallace said to her, "Every man dies, but not every man really lives." When I heard that final statement, I thought, there it is. That's the gospel. We all die, but very few of us really live and live well. Christ made it possible to live well. Sitting on my couch, I broke down and sobbed when I heard that statement. What is living well? I believe it's being immersed in God's presence and power as much as possible. It is leaping into the pathways He leads us to, even in the middle of significant pain or tragedy. It's the journey of discovery about His love. If we're honest, pain can, in the long run, divert us away from an abundant life spiritually and emotionally. Addiction's root is a flight from pain. Reigning in life is a hope-filled one. It embraces living well in the midst of our painful adversities, and we grow through them. Hope flourishes when we discover God's love, presence, and His extraordinary encounters, even in our worst storms. When my husband and son died, God's life-giving love pursued me in a way and with a depth I'd never known before. In short, God's intent for us is to live well with His purpose, His hope and love, and a great peace that dwells above all the chaos and the pain of life. Christ's execution was also very brutal. A vinegar and gall mixture meant to dull physical pain was offered to him. It was a mixture that was a well-known narcotic of the day. He refused it, to face death fully conscious and with a clear mind. His resurrection afterward means I'll see my believing loved ones again. And that is hope at its finest. It's the hope that looks forward for a better day. When we walk in His great peace, hope, and purpose despite our hardships, we are known for living well. Thank you so much for taking time to listen today. If this podcast encourages someone you know who strives to live well through hardship, please pass it on. Your comments are valued, and subscribing is also deeply appreciated. I'm looking forward to sharing with you the next episode of Reflections. God always looks to speak to us about the everyday issues of life that we journey through.